Hey guys, Trash Can Monk here. Um, just wanted to cover real quick. Had a bad trade last week. Actually, had one or two, and I wanted to cover one of them. One that I learned a lot from. I don't see a lot of guys posting their failures on videos. I don't see a lot of guys posting the or recording for that matter. Hey, this was my worst day, and I want you to be a part of it too. So I just want to cover this real quick, show you guys that trading is not all about winning. You learn more from your losers than you will ever learn from your winners. So stay tuned.
Um, NZD USD, as you can see. This is my S3 strategy based off of a 1.4 risk to reward ratio. Um, this trade was awesome. Like there was a really large amount of volatility down here by this support zone. I should have had this trade. I should have had this trade, and I should have had its take profit 3. Everything was set up for it. Um, However, and this is what I wanted to talk about, guys are really quick to show massive profits. Guys are really quick to show, hey, I made this much in 2 or 3 hours. And that's fine and good for most people, and that's fine and good for them. But what I want to do is I want to be transparent. And part of being transparent is showing you my failures. And this one is one of those that slaps you in the face because this is perfect. This is some you can't ask for better, at least with my strategy, better than this. We had a double bottom. As you can see here, I've got my marks. I have my first bottom, I have my second test, and it closed up above my entry point. This was 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which is for me when the market is closed. I should not have done that. I'm owning that 100%, just like the next one that was the issue. Um, you have to own these problems. You have to learn from these problems. Otherwise, you're just going to keep placing trades and wondering why your broker's killing you, when in all actuality, it's you. The market was closed, which means that spreads between buyers and sellers for the price was way too big. So right after my entry, when I clicked buy, I was pretty much 50% towards my stop loss already. Just because the spread on the price was so big that when it wicked down to the bottom of this green candle here, zoom in a little bit, down to the bottom of this green candle here, it stopped me out. I mean, that's how massive of an amount of price action in the spread there was, which ultimately took me out of my position. When this happened, I was a little frustrated. Um, I knew that this setup was going to go well. I knew that the dollar was doing what it was doing, and the Aussie was following it. It was all just working together, and it was going to work out. So instead of being smart, I let greed and FOMO get a hold of me. And on this, that'd be 3, 4, 5. So on this big old doji right here, this wick down into this zone, I leveraged myself to earn back what I lost and make money on this return trip upwards. And doing that for some traders is okay. Some traders have pretty fluid amounts of risk that they're allowing themselves to use in and out of the market. However, I don't do that. I stick to a 1% rule until I find a reason to go above that. I don't see any reason to risk more than 1%. At this point in time, I had 2 to 3% on the table. A lot of guys are like, well, it's not 5%, which is what I trade with usually. Okay, but that goes against my rules. And the mental capital that I lost from being stopped out by placing the trade at the wrong time, and now you don't quite understand it until you're in trading. When you break your rules, if you have rules, if you break your rules, you don't feel good about the trade. And on this large downside with this particular candle, I got stopped out. So I lost my 1, my 2, so that's 3 total on this one trade that if I would have just waited and done correctly, this would not have been a problem. Now, being stopped out here was mostly because my stop loss, because I was risking 2%, was set right around this zone, and the spread at the time of the market opening pretty much caught me out. Whatever news was coming out here stopped me out due to the slippage or whatever you want to call it. It got me. It got me hardcore. So this reversed back up. Obviously, this setup still remained intact, and I was asleep for these particular candles here. Now, I could have re entered over here on this candle. I could have reset my whole program and built up a new trade. However, I was so gun shy by this that by this time that I was fearful of getting back in the market and losing capital. Dumb, absolutely dumb. But it's something you have to deal with as a trader is this ability to have a perfect trade come up, have everything meet together, and then the market just wallops you upside the head. So these are the failures that I had last week. I'm recording this because I was out at work last week actually, and I couldn't sit down and record this. So this is a week's worth of processing to show you guys that trading isn't always easy, and you can have the perfect setup in front of you, and you can still screw it up. You're human. And if we weren't human, the market wouldn't move the way it does. The liquidity wouldn't be up and down. If we had bots that traded it consistently for us, if the Federal Reserve and everything ran off of a computer algorithm that kept everything at at the level that it needed to be, we would not have volatility. So, when you get into trading or when you're starting to get into trading, or even if you're a seasoned trader, remember that you're always going to have to fight yourself more so than the market. Because if you have rules in place, you know with probabilistic ability what's going to happen. Say if my setup works 70-80% of the time, if it works 40% of the time, whatever your setup does, you have the probabilistic ability to predict what's going to happen if you can get over yourself. Now, psychology is where I'm at. That's what I need to understand. I need to understand myself. I have my setup. I have my ability to trade these setups because they consistently form all over the place, and I can get them. I just have to make sure that I'm at peak performance and that I understand what I'm doing and what I'm bringing to the market. So that's just something I wanted to cover today, guys. Something I don't see a lot of are the guys that um, take time out of their day to show you, hey, I'm a loser, just like you are. Everything happens for a reason, and we need to figure those things out. And that's how we make ourselves better traders. It's not about the 10 grand. It's not about the 30 grand or the $400 you can make in a day or a day. It's about learning these things because these things are what tell you or show you how to make that on a consistent basis. You learn from these I've learned more from this than I did on this guy. There was nothing I learned from the S3 up here that I took. I didn't learn anything here other than how to be confident in my setup. It this one here, I missed the best trading day I could have had in a week or 2 weeks because of myself, because of breaking my rule on this candle by over leveraging on this candle and then missing on that candle. I had 3 attempts on a bang on trade and I missed it. So, guys, that's all I had today. Just so you know that I'm not lying about this. That was my losses for all of this. So, yeah, I had my first initial that killed me. I had my over leverage to try to get that and more. And then these were other trades that I took. So I just want to be transparent about that. Just want to show you guys it's not all about winning. I mean, you get to learn from these mistakes, and that's what a trader is. You make mistakes, you learn, and you move on. That's why we handle things so well. So, all right, guys, have a good one.